हरे कृष्णा। वेलकम। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं तत जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्णा। We try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto first, chapter 11, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwarka. Shloka number 35 and 36. स एष नरलोके अस्मिन्
स एष नरलोके अस्मिन्
अवतीर्णः स्वमायया
अवतीर्णः स्वमायया
रेमे श्रीरत्नकुटस्थः
रेमे स्त्रीरत्नकुटस्थः
भगवान् प्राकृतः यथा
भगवान् प्राकृतः यथा
उद्दाम भावपिशुन
उद्भाव
उद्दाम
उद्दाम भाव पिशुन
अमलवल अमलवल्गुहास
अमल वल्गुहास
व्रीडा अवलोकनिहतः
व्रीडा अवलोक निहतः
मदन अपि यासाम्
मदनः अपि यासान्
सम्मुह्य चापम् अजहात
सम्मुह्य च
चाप
आप चापम अजहात
प्रमद उत्तमहाता
प्रमद उत्तमाता
यस्य इन्द्रियं विमथितुम्
यस्य इन्द्रिय विमथितुं
कुहकहि न शेकुः
कुहकैः न शेकुः
स एष नरलोके अस्मिन्
स एष नरलोके अस्मिन्
अवतीर्णः स्वमायया
अवतीर्णः स्वमायया
रेमे श्रीरत्नकुटस्थः
रेमे स्त्री रत्नकुटस्थः
भगवान् प्राकृतः यथा
भगवान् प्राकृतः यथा
उद्दाम भावपिशून्
उद्दाम भाव पीशून्
अमलवल्गुहास
अमल वल्गुहास
व्रीडा अवलोकनिहतः
व्रीडा अवलोक निहतः मदनः अपि
मदन अपि यासाम्
मदनः अपि यासाम्
सम्मुहे चापम् अजहात
सम्मूह च आपम अजहास
प्रमद उत्तमहाता
प्रमद उत्तमाहाता
यस्य इन्द्रियं विमथितुम्
यस्य इन्द्रियं विमथितुं
कुहकैः न शेकुः
कुहकैः नः शेकुः
न शेकुः फक्त न नाही. स एष नरलोके अस्मिन् अवतीर्ण स्वमायया ते मे श्रीरत्नकुटस्थः भगवान् प्राकृतः यथा उद्दाम भावपिशुन् अमल बल्ग हास व्रीडा अवलोकनियत मदन अपि यासाम् सम्मुहे चापम् अजहात प्रमद उत्तमाता यस्य इंद्रियं विमथितुं कुवकैन शेकुः. हरे कृष्ण. प्लीज
हरे कृष्ण। स एष नरलोके अस्मिन् अवतीर्णः स्वमायया रेमे स्त्रीरत्नकूटस्थ भगवान् प्राकृतः यथा उद्दाम भाव पिशुन अमल वल्गुहासः व्रीडा अवलोक निहतः मदनः अपि यासाम् सम्मुह्य च अपजहात प्रमदत्तम प्रमदत्तमाहाता यस्य इन्द्रियं विमुथितुं कुहकैः न शेकुः
कर पे कृपामयी माताजी. माताजी जय म्हणतो.
हे
हरे
कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम।
प्रणाम माताजी.
स ये नरकलोके अस्मिन् अवतारिण स्वमायया प्रेमी स्त्रीरत्नकुटस्थो भामा प्रकृतो यथा उत्तम भावा विसुम्ना अमल अमलावलसा व्रीडा लोकेन निहितो मद यासां संयुया चापम अजहत
पूनम
प्रददोत्तमस्ता
माता जी, पूनम
यस्त्रिय
माता जी,
नासे family
पूनम माता जी, आशीष प्रभु जी,
स एष
translation?
न
हम्म,
स एष नरलोके अस्मिन् अवतीर्णः स्वमायया रेमे स्त्रीरत्नकूटस्थ भगवान् प्रकृतो यथा उद्दमभावपिशून् अमलभवल्गुहसा
ग्रीडा,
वृद्धवलोक निहतो मादानो अपि यासाम् सम्मूह चापाम् अजहत् प्रमदोत्तमश्च यस्य इन्द्रियन् विमुता विमुथि विमथितुं कुहकैर्न सेकुः।
translation and
Hare
purport by the
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. That supreme personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, appeared on this planet by his internal potency and enjoyed himself amongst competent women as if he were engaging in mundane affairs. Although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attraction, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord married and lived like a householder. This is certainly like a mundane affair, but when we learn that he married 16,100 wives and lived with them separately in each and every palace, certainly it is not mundane. Therefore, the Lord living as a householder among his competent wives is never mundane, and his behavior with them is never to be understood as mundane sex relation. The women who became the wives of the Lord are certainly not ordinary women, because to get the Lord as one's husband is the result of many, many millions of births, tapasya, austerity. When the Lord appears on different lokas or planets or on this planet of human being, he displays his transcendental pastime just to attract the conditioned souls to become his eternal servitor, friends, parents, and lovers, respectively, in the transcendental world, where the Lord eternally reciprocates such exchanges of service. Service is pervertedly represented in the material world and broken untimely, resulting in sad experience. The innocent living being, conditioned by material nature, cannot understand out of ignorance that all our relations here in the mundane world are temporary and
Full of inebriaties.
full of elaboraties. Such relations us be happy perpetually, but if the same relation is established with the Lord, then we are transferred to the transcendental world after leaving this material body and become eternally related with Him in the relation we desire. The women amongst whom He lived as their husband are not, therefore, women of this mundane world, but are eternally related with Him as transcendental wives, a position which they attain by perfection of devotional service. That is their competency. The Lord is Param Brahma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Conditioned souls seek after perpetual happiness in all places, not only on this earth but also on other planets throughout the universe, because constitutionally a spiritual spark, as he is, can travel to any part of God's creation. But being conditioned by the material modes, he tries to travel in space by spacecraft and so fails to reach his destination. The law of gravitation is binding upon him like the shackles of a prisoner. By other processes, he can reach anywhere, but even if he reaches the highest planet, he cannot attain that perpetual happiness for which he is searching life after life. When he comes to his sense, however, he seeks after Brahman happiness, knowing it for certain that unlimited happiness which he is seeking is never attainable in the material world. As such, the Supreme Being, Brahman, certainly does not seek his happiness anywhere in the material world, nor can his paraphernalia of happiness be found in the material world. He is not impersonal because he is the leader and Supreme Being amongst innumerable living beings. He cannot be impersonal. He is exactly like us, and he has all the propensities of an individual living being is fullness. He marries exactly like us, but his marriage is neither mundane nor limited by our experience in the conditioned state. His wives therefore appear like mundane women, but factually they are all transcendental, liberated soul, perfect manifestation of internal energy. The path of salvation or path of going back to Godhead always forbids the association of women, and the complete Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma scheme forbids or restricts association with women. How then can one be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is addicted to more than 16,000 wives? This question may be relevantly raised by inquisitive persons really anxious to know about the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And to answer such questions, the sages at Naimisharanya have discussed the transcendental character of the Lord. In this and in following verses, it is clear here in that the feminine attractive features which can conquer Cupid or even the supermost tolerant Lord Shiva could not conquer the senses of the Lord. Cupid's business is to invoke mundane lust. The whole universe is moving, being agitated by Cupid's arrow. The activities of the Lord are being carried on by the central attraction of male and female. A male is searching after a mate to his liking, and the female is looking after a suitable mate. That is the way of material stimulus. As soon as a male is combined with a female, the material bondage of the living being is at once tightly interlocked by sex relation, and as a result of this, both the males and females attraction for sweet home, motherland, bodily offspring, society and friendship and accumulation of wealth becomes the illusory field of activities, and thus a false but indefatigable attraction for the temporary material existence which is full of miseries is manifest. Those who are therefore on the path of salvation or going back home, back to Godhead, are especially advised by all scriptural instructions to become free from such paraphernalia of material attraction. And that is possible only by the association of the devotees of the Lord, who are called the Mahatma. Cupid throws his arrow upon the living being to make them mad after the opposite sex, whether the party is actually beautiful or not. Cupid's provocation are going on even among beastly societies who are all ugly looking in the estimation of the civilized nation. Thus, Cupid's influence is exerted even among the ugliest form, and what to speak of the most perfect beauties. Lord Shiva, who is considered to be the most tolerant, was also struck by Cupid's arrow because he also became mad after the Mohini incarnation of the Lord and acknowledged himself to be defeated. Cupid, however, was himself captivated by the grave and exciting dealings of the goddesses of fortune, and he voluntarily gave up his bow and arrow in a spirit of frustration. Such was the beauty and attraction of the queens of Lord Krishna, yet they could not disturb the transcendental senses of the Lord. This is because the Lord is all perfect Atmaram or self-sufficient. He does not require anyone's extraneous help for his personal satisfaction. Therefore, the queens could not satisfy the Lord by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service. Only by unalloyed transcendental loving service could they satisfy the Lord, and the Lord was pleased to treat them as wives in reciprocation. Thus, being satisfied by their unalloyed service only, The Lord reciprocated the service just like a devout husband. Otherwise, he had no business becoming the husband of so many wives. He is the husband of everyone, but to one who accept him as such, he reciprocate. Thus, alloyed affection for the Lord is never to be compared to mundane lust. It is purely transcendental, and the grave dealings which the queens displayed in natural feminine ways were all transcendental because the feelings were expressed out of transcendental ecstasy. It is already explained in the previous verse that the Lord appeared like a mundane husband, but actually his relation with his wives was transcendental, pure and unconditioned by the modes of material nature. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna. We try to understand shloka number 35 and 36, how the Supreme Personality of Sri Krishna behave and their causeless mercy who were appear on this planet. They treated their wives and how their wives receives and attract them, but their attraction not not
Hare Krishna. Hare
Prabhuji will
Krishna.
tell us.
Thank you very much.
Mohit,
So we are seeing that Krishna, he had become pacified because one of the objectives of his appearance on this earth was to destroy those kings who had become a burden to the earth. And how did he destroy them? He destroyed by ensuring that they have a hostility between themselves, fight amongst themselves, and they get killed. So the example which we saw yesterday was like the wind, which causes friction between bamboos and thus sparks a fire. Furthermore, Krishna is being described now that he, out of his causeless mercy, appeared on this planet. And how did he appear? He appeared by his internal potency. And though he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he also ensured that Lakshmi Sastreshu, thousands and lakhs of Lakshmis was serving Krishna. They also came. And then he showed as if he is enjoying himself amongst the most competent women, as if engaging in mundane affairs. But then the intention was to put in an example of how he is Bhagavanah. That is, he is the possessor of all opulences. The queens it is being described here, they were very beautiful. Their smiles were beautiful. Their glances, which are furtive, were spotless, exciting. In fact, they were in such a position that they could conquer Cupid himself. It is said in the shloka that the conquering would have been such. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That Cupid would have given up his bow in frustration. And in fact, it is said, you all know about Lord Shivji, of how he is so tolerant, how he is meditating upon Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So in that cold atmosphere, sub-zero temperature, Lord Shivji is meditating upon Krishna. That shows his tolerance levels. And here it is said that the queens, they were so beautiful that even Shivji could have fallen victim to them. And thus, those queens, they were having so many magical feats and attractions. But in spite of that, our Krishna, he could not be agitated at all. And that is why he is the possessor of all the opulences. Now, Krishna, we know, when he had to marry all those queens, he expanded himself into 16,108 forms so that he could live with each one of them separately in separate palace. Now, this is not something which a normal person, a normal living being can do. This can be done only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then, when he was living as a householder, again, that is not a normal activity. That is not mundane activity. Here, the wives of Krishna, they were not ordinary women. Because each one of them had done austerities, and after many millions of births on different planets, they had got this benediction. So Krishna, whenever he appears, as he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata. So whenever he is appearing for this reason, he is ensuring that he is able to display his transcendental pastimes so that the conditioned souls, they can be attracted to become suitable enough to be the eternal servitors, the friends, the parents, the lovers in the transcendental world, where Krishna eternally reciprocates the services. So be it whatever bhav, service is important. But then in the material world, this is pervertly represented, which is very sad because we are illusion. So we cannot understand out of ignorance that whatever relations we talk about in this material mundane world, they are all full of inebrities and temporaries. They cannot give us perpetual happiness. But if we establish a similar relationship with Krishna, then we are transferred back to Godhead in Golok Vrindavan, where we are not worried about any kind of birth, old age, disease, and death which we suffer in this material body, where we can be eternally related with Him in the relation we desire. So, when this shloka is talking about these queens, their qualities, we need to understand that they are not ordinary women. They are not ordinary queens. They had got this position by perfection of devotional service. That is their competency. We all know Krishna is Param Brahma. But then we need to understand that when these women are trying whatever means they have, they still fail. See, we conditioned souls, we try to go from one place to another. Now we are trying to go to different planets. We have our own space station. We have reached moon. And very soon it is said that we'll be reaching to the other planets as well. But then still we are not able to reach to faraway planets. Because the law of gravitation is binding upon us like the shackles of a prisoner. So we are not able to leave this world at all. So this is never going to make us reach our ultimate destination. It is important that we get out of this material concept of life. We should not be seeking happiness anywhere in the material world because this world is declared as dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So nothing can give happiness here. But Krishna, because he is the leader and supreme being, he is not impersonal. He has all the propensities in fullness. And that is what he is demonstrating. His wives, they are all transcendental liberated souls, perfect manifestations of Krishna's internal energy. And we need to understand this. The path of salvation is going to be only when we follow the rules. And one of the important rules is forbidden of the association of women. And the complete Sanatana Dharma or Varnashram Dharma forbids or restricts association with women. And hence, this is very important. One of the 4 rules that we follow is on this basis only. So here when this shloka is talking that even the twins failed to agitate Krishna, while they could have simply made Cupid feel foolish, or even Shivji could not have restricted. This again shows that Krishna is all perfect Atma, self-sufficient. He does not require anyone's help for his personal satisfaction. In fact, twins could not satisfy Krishna, but they satisfied him by their sincere affection and service. So only unalloyed transcendental loving service can satisfy Krishna. And then Krishna is pleased to treat in reciprocation. So this is what we need to learn from these shlokas. That we need to surrender completely to Krishna, to serve Krishna, to make him pleased. Thank you very much.